And we are delighted to have a visit from Rekha Basu.
Hello.
From the Des Moines
morning.
Register each and every Wednesday morning about this time. And she's just going through what's going to be the topic of discussion today.
What can we expect if we're picking up the paper today?
What can you expect? Okay, in my column, you can expect a column excoriating certain members of the Iowa Senate who will go so far as to pass or try to pass legislation that would prohibit abortions in every way, shape, or form, including hate crimes, declaring them hate crimes for having an abortion, but will not protect pregnant women from on-the-job hazards. Now, this I find to be a complete act of hypocrisy, and I would really like to understand the rationale behind it. So, the Iowa Senate passed a bill that would require employers to make reasonable accommodations to pregnant employees when they're pregnant, and that means like if they need a change of schedule or they need to give up heavy lifting for a while and sit in a chair to do another job, or bathroom breaks, you know, more often, whatever, any of that stuff. And it passed the Senate by 28 to 22, but it didn't pass the House, and it was opposed by this same group of senators who have been totally, you know, pro-life in their views and proposing all of these anti-abortion measures. And I'd like to know the rationale behind that. What they say is that you can't require that the proposed law would put the responsibility on an employer to provide a rationale for why it's too much of a burden to make these accommodations, right?
I could be wrong, but aren't we one of the worst countries when it comes to taking care of women in this condition?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, for one thing, in most European countries, you get paid pregnancy leave and maternity leave, which you do not get here at all. And in some cases, women can lose their jobs for asking for accommodations, or they can be. It's not supposed to be legal, but they're asked whether they plan to get pregnant when they apply for a job, which is totally illegal. Yeah.
Right.
Or, you know, they can be told don't come back. So we are talking about women, not women who work in office jobs so much, but women who work in construction, in fire, police services, those kinds of things, which are hazardous and involve, you know, exposure to toxic, and heavy physical labor. So wouldn't you think that the element that declares itself to be the most pro-life would be the ones who most want to protect women who are pregnant and the developing fetuses? But no, they say that's too much of a burden.
Yeah.
You would think. On the other hand, these same senators, which include the following, and I'm just going to have to read their names: Jake Chapman, Mark Shelgren, Amy Sinclair, Jack Whitver, and Brad Zahn, have all co-sponsored bills that would either do this hate crime thing against women or their doctors who decide to have a pregnancy, or would make an abortion after 20 weeks of pregnancy a Class C felony, punishable by up to $10,000 and 10 years in prison for the doctor who does it, and would allow the biological father of that baby to sue for damages, even if the woman voluntarily went in and of her own volition had an abortion. So it's giving basically these
politics.
men. I'm telling you, it gets worse and worse.
Where is this in the legislation right now?
And it would also give a spouse, a county attorney, an attorney general, or a parent the right to seek an injunction to prevent an abortion, not just if the pregnant woman is under 18, but also if she's unmarried.
If she's unmarried.
Let's say you get pregnant, right?
Right.
Any of these bozos can come in and get an injunction against your getting an abortion.
So they're telling me what I can do with
They're telling you what you can do. And here's one that just really, I mean, symbolically just really gets to me. So this same Senator Jake Chapman co-sponsored legislation that would impose the death penalty for certain crimes, not abortion, not the crime of abortion, but for certain crimes that include multiple offenses like murder, kidnapping, and sexual abuse. But it stipulates in the bill that if the woman who committed the crime is pregnant, her baby has to be born before she can be executed.
They're going to that extreme.
This is what they're calling right to life. Right to life?
Right.
And you want the death penalty for a woman who's just given birth?
Where are we at with this legislation?
Wow.
Where is
Well,
it at?
it's not. I mean, none of these bills have passed. None of these
Okay.
bills have passed. But I'm just trying to use them to illustrate how crazy it is out there, how much hypocrisy there is out there. That, you know, this is not even. I mean, these zealots are hardline anti-abortion more for ideological reasons than for any practical reasons, and it's sure not to protect pregnant women and their developing fetuses. None of it is about that. It sounds to me more like a war on
You
women.
might want to grab a copy of the paper and read this in depth, because
We'll know who you're voting in when you cast your
that's
votes
just it,
for the
because
legislation.
the only way people can continue to do things like this, if you oppose this, is if they're in office.
Exactly. And people need to know, we need to be paying attention to what our legislators are doing. And these are the kinds of things that fall under the radar
Right.
because the bills don't get passed or they
Right.
get negotiated in committee or whatever.
Right.
But
You don't
we
even hear
should
about
know.
'em, yeah.
Exactly. But this pregnancy accommodation bill also didn't get passed because the Republicans have held it up.
Wow.
Such a small step to take.
Grab the paper today, definitely, if you want to read more details on that. Wonderful. Good job, lady.
Thank you.
so
So
much.
good to see you.